Right, we're all good. So welcome everybody. Welcome. As you're all coming in, great to see you coming back for session 4 of the workshop. Really excited to see you back here. This is going to be an absolute blast, this one. It's a massive part of the Zenler platform, and it's one that we always get questions on. People are always asking, what's the difference between this and that? And how do I do this? And I want to run this. And what's the best setup for me? So this one I know is going to be really popular. So when you come in, do let us know that you can hear us, you can see us, that you're all good. Come and say hi to us. If you're on Facebook, do exactly the same thing. It's always nice to know where people are coming from as well, because we do have people coming from all around the world. I think I counted about 14 different countries on the last one, which it blows my mind. Every time I see it, it just blows my mind. It's like, you know what, that's just such a reach when I'm sitting in my little office with a computer and we've got all of these people from all around the world. It amazes me. But so we've got New Jersey in. We've got Stockholm, Florida. Scott, mate, you got to stop telling me how warm it is in Florida. Yeah, you came on last week and told me how warm it was. I have to keep adjusting the temperature in my office just to feel like I'm sort of there with you. It was cold between the yeah, I don't believe you. But Costa Rica again, George Island, Florida, Switzerland, loads and loads of people. Awesome. Okay, right. So let's get into this. So let me just quickly share my screen before we get into the training. I always like to do a little bit of a recap just as people are settling in of where we've been and what we're up to. So this is the Tour of Zenler workshop. Hopefully you're all in the funnel now, so you're starting to get access to the replays, the extra little videos we're doing, and you're getting some of the bonus things that we're only going to be putting in there. We're not going to be sharing them outside, so you need to go through the funnel to get it. The only reason that you need to go in the funnel is because it's convenient for you to get all of the information in one place. We're not selling you anything. We're not spamming you with anything. That's the reason why it's really handy for you to be there. It keeps it very ordered and you can find everything. So session 1, we looked at dashboards and menus. I know that was a really great introduction day for people, especially that were new to Zenler, that had come in maybe on one of the recent offers that we'd put out there, just started to explore how it works, where you can find stuff and all of that. So session 1 was with me. Really enjoyed that one. Then of course we had the core of the platform, the page builder, which was session 2 with David, really getting us to understand how we layer the pages, how we can edit, how we can space stuff. It was a really fascinating look into how a drag and drop page editor works, and it would have given some of the people that came along some real moments of clarity as to what maybe they could do that would make their sites look a little bit better. And of course the page builder works throughout a lot of the areas on the site, so it was really important we looked at that and addressed that quite early on within this workshop. We had live number 3, which was with Saturday with me, which was we were then looking at how we can create pages, link pages, put them into the menu, what type of pages were pre-done and what we need to edit and how we find all of those. Also a logged in and logged out homepage and how we were going to sort of address that and look at how we could use that more effectively rather than have to sign for both. So that was a great session. And then we looked at the blogging area within Zenler and how we can put blog posts, what the blog roll or blog roll looks like, how we can edit that page as well, and then start to optimize and put our content out there to really start engaging with people coming into our area, into finding us and looking at what we're doing and achieving. So that was the first week. So phew, that was a lot we covered that week. We really got into some quite deep content now. And this week, I'm really pleased to say it's not going to be any easier, but it's going to be just as valuable because we've got 3 things we're covering this week. And today is day session 4. Manmeet's my guest. So Manmeet, great to have you here. And Manmeet is going to take us through the live area today. So get your questions ready for anything to do with the live area. We'll answer those afterwards, so we'll unmute you and we'll put your cameras on and all of that type of stuff so you can really get involved in Q&A bit towards the end. But we're going to cover live areas today. Make sure you're ready for it. It's going to be really good. There will be a replay as well, just in case we go a little bit too quick for some people. But we're going to delve into that now. I'm going to hand over to Manmeet so she can take it away, and I will see you all in the chat and then back for the Q&A session.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. And there was so much that has been covered last week. I'm sure all of you are taking notes, implementing, and then moving forward. Today, we would be talking about the lives in Zenler, which is the biggest one because Zenler is by far the only platform that supports the kind of lives that we do. And we always use the lives that we have in our own system. As we go about explaining which life is used for which area, I would also give you examples that how do we use that particular life when we are doing our live sessions. So I will drop right into the screen and get into the implementation of how do we use the live areas. The one thing to notice is that the live areas that Zenler has is with an integrated Zoom plan. If you are a pro or a premium member, that means you have access to the Zoom plan that you can use, which is the enterprise level Zoom. So before we move forward, I'd like to answer some common questions that I always get. Can you change a certain thing in Zoom, or can you share a direct Zoom link from your account? That is not possible, is because you're using the enterprise level Zoom, wherein the account access is only with Zenler. The features of Zoom are given to you as a part of your plan, but the access to the account is a common access, that is the enterprise level access that Zenler has. So you use the features that Zoom has, but using direct links or making other changes can be possible when you bring your own Zoom to the platform, which is another feature that Zenler has. Whenever you use the live areas, you'll always have two options. Either you use the integrated service of Zoom that Zenler offers, or you can bring your own Zoom, that is your own paid plan of Zoom, and integrate it with the features that Zenler has. So I will get right into my screen and I'll show you the integrations part before we move forward. Here on my screen, you can see that we are in the site area, and in the site area, there's a tab called integrations. If I go to the integrations area, you will see there is something called as bring your own Zoom. This is the first level, which is add Zoom. If you are a pro or a premium client, and if you would want to bring your own Zoom to be able to use the features like using the direct Zoom link, which remains same for no matter what meeting or any commonalities you want to do, or make other changes on your Zoom account level. If those are the kind of features you need, then you need to add your own Zoom. Otherwise, the Zenler Zoom has everything that you need. Today, the meeting that we are doing is happening on the Zenler Zoom as one of the live features that we are using. Similarly, if you want to use the Zenler integrated Zoom with the live areas, it works absolutely amazing. And there are ways where you can share the links ahead of time as well. I'll tell you what options they are. But to begin with, I just wanted to share this is also an option if you'd like to consider it. Here on the top is the live area. If I go to the live area, you'll see about 5 options that Zenler has along with a calendar on the top. This calendar shows all the meetings you will keep scheduling on your Zenler system. Now, this calendar is not live until and unless you make it for your audience. Right now, this is an internal calendar that you can see to see how many sessions you have aligned in the Zenler account using the Zenler Live Areas. If you want to make this page live, we will go to the site area again. We will go to the pages and I will search for the calendar page here. This is the calendar page that can be made live. If you want the calendar to be accessed by the people who are coming to your site or your paid clients or people that you interact with, all you need to do is you need to pick up this link and put it into the menu of your website, and people would be able to see all the sessions that you're doing according to the bifurcation that is mentioned here, which I'll explain in a moment. So this is a calendar. Usually I get a question in the live sessions that we do, that is this calendar public yet? Can people see this calendar? They cannot see it until you use that link and make it live. It is only available in your dashboard and you can choose to make it live. Let's go back to the live areas again. Now, since you are clear about which Zoom account to choose, how does the calendar reflect, I'll explain you about all the 5 areas that Zenler has for the live sessions. I'll begin with the first 2, which are more common to each other with a few differences. One-to-one booking and live class. Both of them are the same. They are for your students. I'll tell you the differences as well. Keep making your notes. One-to-one booking and live class is for the students who have created an account on your site. I'm sure as you have been learning in the week, you would have understood there are 2 types of people who come to your site. One is a lead. That means that they opt in to some of your free resources or free course or any other things. Even if a person is signing up for a free course on your site, they are still a student. So if the user has the role of a student on your account, that means that they will have access to a one-to-one booking and a live class. These are the sessions that can be added to your curriculum as well. But at the same time, the one-to-one booking and live class are different in a way where one-to-one booking gives you an invite link to invite people ahead of time. So let's go one by one. Let's try the one-to-one booking. I'll open the one-to-one booking. I'll click on create a new booking. I'll mention here testing one-to-one booking. As you move forward, you have 2 options: single session or reoccurring session. Single session is when you're aligning a one-time meeting. Reoccurring session is when you know a date or a time of a session that happens on a periodic basis. For example, you could say the Thursday live educational sessions that we do at Zenler is always Thursday 4 p.m. UK time. So what we would do is we would go to reoccurring session. We would select weekly because we do weekly once week session. Repeat every 1 week. And I will select Thursday here. I'll remove Monday and I'll have to put in a time here as well. So let's select 4 p.m. and UK time. Now I have an option end by a specific date or end by specific number of occurrences. What I usually do is whenever I'm creating the Thursday live sessions, I end it by a specific date because I know if it is ending by Feb or March, then in month of March, I will have to create the new link. Similarly, you can choose to end by a specific date or by a specific number of sequences. Once this is done, you can also see how many sequences have been set. Since this is a one-to-one booking, by default, Zenler allows 1 registrant to this account when you send the registration link. But you have an option to also increase the number of participants if you are using this meeting link for some other option. Always use one-to-one booking for your students. Do not use it for people who are new to your system or people who are prospects, or if you're doing a free session. Why do I say that? Is because one-to-one booking requires the person to create an account on your site, create a username, create a password, which means that the user will have to go through a whole process to be able to attend one of your sessions that you want them to attend. To avoid friction, to make it as easy as possible, only use particular option for your students. And I'll give you a hack in a minute that if you're using this, what could you do to make it frictionless for people who you already know, not your prospects. So moving forward, here, like I said, there is an option, Zenler Zoom, or if I had my own Zoom, I would get an option if I want to add my own Zoom. I will set the time limit here. I will set the visibility. This visibility is how it would appear on your calendar. If you make it secret, then only people you send the registration link to will be able to see. If you make it public, it will appear on your calendar. If you select courses, then it will only be visible inside the courses. And then you can also have an automatic cloud recording so that as soon as the session starts, the automatic cloud recording starts and you do not bother about, oh, I have to switch on the cloud recording. And we'll click on next. You can select the design you want and click on finish. Now, once your one-to-one booking is created, if you want to share the registration link with people, here is the first link, which is your registration link that you will share it with people. The first is the registration link, then is the checkout page, then is the thank you page, and then the waiting page to join the meeting. Now here, when you share the registration link with people, they will have to go through the entire process to be able to join this particular meeting. That is why I said only use it for your students because they are already a part of your system. They would be happy to do one more registration and they can easily get in. Now, here's a hack. If you want to use this particular meeting link for people that you regularly meet, you do not want to capture their email ID, but you want to send them a link ahead of time. If you go to the one-to-one booking, you will see that we have an invite link here. Whenever we do Thursday live sessions, Zenler educational live sessions, we never have any registrations because people want to hop in and hop off and ask their questions, and they immediately see the email and they feel like they have a question and they want to hop onto the call. In that case, what do? We send them an invite link. I will show you on the tutorial site here. If you go to the tutorial site on the live support, you will see the live educational support desk. When I open this page, we usually send the email 1 hour or 2 hours before the session every Thursday, and you will see this says Thursday next session. When I click on this, this will not ask for any registration. This will simply give us the page to be able to join. How is this happening? Because on this page, which is the Zenler Live Support Desk, we have an invite link for people that they do not have to register to, and they can hop onto the call directly. Why do we use this? Is because we are using it with our community members who are already in the Facebook group. We already have their information. We know who are those people and they've already registered with us. We have their email address. That is why opening a link to people and bypassing the registration is not a problem. Use this link with people who are maybe your paid clients. You want to do a one-off session with them. People who are your community members where you do a maybe an every Friday or a Wednesday session that you want the people to have an link ahead of time. That is where you can share this invite link and invite people. One-to-one bookings can be used when you are inviting a student, when you invite people with invite link where you want to bypass registration. That is when you can use a one-to-one booking. There is one more way one-to-one booking can be used. I will go to the courses. Let's say I'll open this course, which is called a test course. I will go to the curriculum here and I'll click on add a lesson. Here, I will click on live. I will select the live and I will select, you're getting two options here, live class and one-to-one booking. I will select this one. And now this live session has been added to the curriculum. I'll show you how it looks. For example, if a person buys one of your programs that has some live sessions or some community sessions included, you don't have to send them the link separately and tell them to join the session. You can simply send them the link of this dashboard, of your course access dashboard, and tell them that the live session inside your curriculum. They would come here and they would just have to click on book my spot and a button will book their spot and they will receive all their details in the email to be able to attend that particular live session. This is how a one-to-one booking is used. I'll repeat. One, use your one-to-one booking for your students only if you're giving them the registration link to register directly on the page. Second, you can add it to your curriculum. Third, you can create a one-to-one booking and use the invite link to get people to attend your sessions where you are okay to bypass registration. That is how you use a one-to-one booking. Let us go back to the live areas. And before I move forward, I'll quickly take a look at the chat if there are any questions that I can answer for the one-to-one booking. Okay, I see Kevin has already answered all the questions. Okay, let us go to the next one, which is the live class. When I talk about the live class is strictly for the students and for people that have bought your courses. When I say courses, it can be free and paid both. You might have offered a free course as a lead magnet or a resource material, or you might have had a paid course, but a live class is only meant for a course that you're offering to your students and can add a live class to the curriculum. Very similar to the one-to-one booking, you will click on create a new live class. You will put in the topic, select a single session or a recurring session, put in the details. Here you have maximum registrants as 100. You choose whether you want to use your Zoom or the Zenler Zoom. You select the particular timing. You select, do you want it to be secret, public, or courses? And then you create the live session. And similarly, we'll create one here as well. Let's make a single session here like we did a recurring session in the one-to-one booking. Here we will do a single session to make it simpler. So let's select 5 p.m. GMT. Okay, let's move forward and click on next. Now here you have many more variations. Compared to the one-to-one booking, you have more templates that you can choose from. Let's go with this particular template and click on finish. Here you see everything has been created automatically with a click of a mouse. And here is the register page. If you click on the register page, you can send this particular register page to anybody you want this to be attended. Remember, if you send it to your prospects, they can attend it, but they would have to go through the process of creating an account on your site, and then they will be able to attend this particular session. For example, if you see, as soon as I clicked on register now, here it is asking for my email ID, then register for free, and then it will ask me to create a password to be able to get in and then attend this session. As we had done it in the one-to-one booking, similarly, we will go to the course. We will go to the curriculum. And I'll click on add lesson again. I will click on live again. And I will this time select live class testing and click on done. And let us preview this as well. And here the session has been added, and similarly, people can just click on book my spot if they are a part of the course, and they will receive all the details in their email. All right. This is the one-to-one booking and the live class, which is used primarily for your students to add it to your curriculum. And if you are using them as standalone sessions, even then I would recommend to use it with your students, because they already have an account on your site. They already have an email and a password, and it's easier for them to register and get in. Let's go to the live webinars and live interactive webinars. What is the difference between live webinars and live interactive webinars? It's the word interactive. Live webinars are more traditional in nature, where you would be the host of the webinar and people can chat with you but cannot switch on their video, cannot switch on their audio. Even if you want them to, you will be the host and they will only be available on chat. Whereas in a live interactive webinar, they would be able to switch on their video, they will be able to switch on their audio, communicate with you. You can restrict them. You can restrict them. 1 second. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. You can restrict them if you want, but at the same time, you will be able to give them an option to switch on their audio and switch on their videos when you want them to. That is the difference between live webinar and live interactive webinar. Let us start with the live webinar. Let me click on the live webinar here. And we will click on create new live webinar. We will put the webinar topic here. Again, we can select a single session or a recurring session. So I will select a single session because webinars are something that we do as one-off topics. And you also have reminders in webinars and the other things that we'll cover just in a moment once we create it. Let us select the time. When you look at the time in the sessions, you would see that we have normal sessions, we have extended sessions, and we have super extended sessions. The total time that we have in any of the lives in Zenler is up to 4 hours, which means any one session that you do using Zenler would go up to 4 hours. And then if you have a longer meeting or a longer session that you're running, you can have one more meeting that opens up. When you set up a session in Zenler for a particular time, for example, here I have set it for 5 p.m. GMT. You are able to start the live session, no matter what live session is it, whether it is one-to-one booking, whether it is a live class, whether it is a live webinar, or whether it is a live interactive webinar. You would be able to start it 15 minutes before as the admin or the host, which means a 5 p.m. session can only be started at 5:45. You would not be able to start the session before 5:45. And you would get extra 15 minutes buffer depending upon the time that you have set. If you have set 1 hour, then 6 p.m. UK time is when the 1 hour slot is over. Zenler would give you another 15 minutes as the buffer, and 6:15 p.m. UK time, automatically the meeting will close. So always keep some buffer time when you're setting up your session. If you think the session will take 1 hour, set up to 1 hour 15 minutes. If you think the session will take 1.5 hours, set close to 1 hour 45 minutes or maybe 2 hours. Always keep some buffer time, keeping in mind the 15 minutes that Zenler gives you after the session is done. So let's move forward. Once you've set your time according to how you want it to be, you would again select how do you want it, private, public, or automatic cloud recording. Always switch on automatic cloud recording so that you remember, you don't have to bother to remember that the meeting recording has to be switched on. And you click on next. There's one more thing that I'd like to tell you. This is for the other live sessions as well. You have a template here that you can always use to show that what the live session is for. Why do we do this? Because all the pages that people reflect on will be able to see the images. For example, when we went to the Zenler Live support desk here, you see that the image is reflecting here to see how the image is looking as. But if I go back to one of the live sessions that we had just created. Okay, let me open the dashboard here again. If I go to the live sessions that we just created, let us go to the one-to-one booking that we had created. And I go to the pages. And I will click on the waiting page. Here I click on preview page. If you check the preview page, this comes out to be empty is because we do not put that banner in the designing when we are setting up our system. So when I go to the one-to-one booking details here, you have an option here to be able to add a banner, and we'll add a banner just in a minute. For example, I have an option here to get into Canva automatically from Zenler itself to be able to create the banner I want and then add the banner. It gives me an option to change or remove because the default banner has been set. For example, I click on remove here and then I'll click on change and select a banner. Let's say I select the banner that is reflecting here right at my back. Okay. One second, let me just select the banner. Okay, I'll select this one. I will set up the boundaries and click on crop and save. As I do this, and now if I click on pages, if I open any of the page, whether the thank you page, whether the waiting page, whether the replay page, you will see that particular image is going to reflect everywhere, which looks more neat and more professional rather than having an empty block. So always remember to add a banner here as well so that it appears in your replay pages, in your waiting pages, which looks more professional, looks elegant to the person who's going through the pages. I will click on next here. And we select one option in the webinar templates, and the webinar templates are even more beautiful. Any template that you want to choose from, I will go with this one and click on submit. Once this is done, you will see we have options automatically. We have pages, we have automation, we have registered users, and we have cloud recording. If I go to pages, you will have the register page. We will just take a look at the register page. And you've gone through the option of how to edit the pages. All you have to do is get into the editing section of the page, change the images, change the text, and the entire page is ready for you to use to invite people to your webinar. We have the register page, we have the thank you page, we have the waiting page, and we have the replay page as well. If you go to the automations area, this is where you need to remember you have a register mail sequence. That is, as soon as the people register for your webinar, you can send them sequences. You also have webinar reminder sequence, which is you can trigger. Let me click on edit here. You can set a trigger here that you want to send this email before scheduled time, which means if your session is scheduled for 5 p.m. UK time, you can send the first email on 4 p.m. UK time. If your session is scheduled for, again, 5 p.m. UK time, you can also do this 2 hours, 3 hours, however emails you want to send. You also have an option of setting on or after. If the session is at 5 p.m. UK time, you can select the date and time here and send the email. You can also do it after 10 minutes, after 20 minutes, after 1 hour. So all the emails are automatically set for you. This is very important is because when you're asking someone to join a live session, sending the reminders for that live session, especially a webinar, is very important. Here, if you go to add action, this is one of the most important things. If you go on add action here, you have options like add tag, remove tag, send a webhook, notify admin. I would suggest adding 2 automations with your webinars. That is add tag, which means as soon as somebody is joining this particular webinar, you give them a tag webinar 4th March so that you know which lead came through which webinar at what time. And then you set up one more, which is notify admin. Notify admin would be as soon as a person has registered in this particular webinar, you would get a notification saying that, hi, Manmeet, hi, Kevin, this particular lead has registered in your webinar, and you can keep a count of your leads in your email inbox, how many people are registering and at what point. And that notification with the new entry into your webinar really makes you feel good. This is how a live webinar works. Always remember, live webinar is more traditional in nature, where you would be able to switch on the video and audio as the host and interact with people. But at the same time, the users or the clients or the prospects that would come in will only be able to chat with you, and they would not be able to switch on their video and audios. The webinar is a free webinar that you use to invite prospects and nurture them into your paid programs. Live webinar cannot be charged, wherein when we go to the next webinar, you would have an option to add pricing to the live interactive webinar as well. And this is how you create your live webinars. Let us go to the live interactive webinars. When we go to live interactive webinars, I'll just click on create new live webinar. It is very same. If you've learned once how to create a live area on Zenler, life is very easy because all the live sessions are very similar and it's very easy to create a live session on Zenler. Only what does the live bring to you? How does it serve your audience is different. Apart from that, everything else is the same. So here as well, let us put the topic. Let us put the time. I'm leaving the other things as default and I'll click on next. Here you have another set of templates that you can choose. And if you see all the templates, the one-to-one booking had different templates, the live class had different templates, the live webinar had different templates, and the live interactive webinar has different templates. So you can choose the templates that you like. Once you have done that, here is where you see pricing section. This is the one thing that live interactive webinar is slightly different from live webinars, is because you can charge for your live interactive webinars and you can have people pay on the platform while they want to attend the live interactive webinar, and everything else remains the same. If I once again take you through these 4 live areas, one-to-one booking and live class is very similar to each other. It is for your students, it is for your paid clients, and it is for the people that you're already serving when they have an account on your site that is a username and a password. The only difference is one-to-one bookings have an invite link that can help you bypass the registration. That's the only one difference between these two. Live webinar and live interactive webinar is exactly the same. The two differences are live webinar is more traditional in nature. It gives you rights as the host. Live interactive webinar is interactive, allows the users to interact as well, and has the pricing option as well where you can charge your customers. The last and the biggest one is the live stream. It seems the easiest, but is not really the easiest. If you go to click on create new live stream, you will just simply have to put the topic, the date and time, which Zoom are you using, and the time. Once you have done that, I will take you through a support document here, which talks about how to set up the Facebook live stream. Because this would require me to actually use the Zoom sessions while I'm in a Zoom room. I will just click on this one, which is how to stream to a Facebook group while using the SMTP, which is a new rule by Zoom. Just give me 1 second. This is a new rule that has been set up by the Zoom where we have to use a custom RMTP to be able to stream live into the Facebook group. Once you create the live stream, as the session room opens up, the room will open up like the room we are in right now. You would see an option here which says live on custom live streaming service. You select that particular session. As you select that particular option, you will come to a screen like this, which says streaming URL, streaming key, live streaming page, and then the resolution. Here, what you have to do is the live streaming page will be the group link that you will be streaming in. So when we set up live, this meeting as well is being live streamed to Facebook. When we set up a live stream, we use the link of the Zenler Facebook group, the main link, and we put the link here. The streaming key is what you would get from the live event that you have set up in your Facebook group. And the streaming URL is where you would get from that particular page as well. So once you see this particular screen, the first thing that you have to do is you have to create an event in your Zoom group that should already be there if you're doing a live session. If you click on live video, you'll select the streaming software, not the webcam, you'll select the streaming software.
Oops. Looks like Manmeet has dropped out for some reason. I don't know why, but I think she was starting to wrap up with the live streaming. Don't click that button. Yeah, exactly that. Don't click that button. What is the link to the live stream that Manmeet is sharing? The live stream is in the Facebook group. So it's really easy. When you do the live stream, it comes in and it opens up a Zoom window. What you have to do is you have to click on the more button at the bottom, and then that will open up live stream on custom server. And then you go through that way. And that then you have a Facebook window open, you have your Zoom window open, and you're going backwards and forwards. As soon as you click in Zoom, you want to create a live stream, it'll open up another window asking for those 4 bits of information. And they're really easy to find. It sounds really difficult, but it's not. I'm just waiting to see if Manmeet has come back in yet. Hopefully she will. Right, if you could all keep an eye out for her, then that would be cool. So that's how you get into it. Now, I'm sure she'll share with you exactly where that link is to watch that through. Has anybody actually done a live stream using the Zenler Live area before? Because I think it's really cool because you can do different things in there, just like you can with anything else that you use in Zoom. You can do your screen shares, you can get other people involved, you can do all sorts of really good things. And the fact of the matter is ultimately the live areas are there about engagement. That's what they're there for. We know people like to be involved in live stuff. I'm really pushing at the moment to get the lives included into the new community. Yes, found it tricky, Nicola. Did you? I think when you do it the first time, it feels a little bit like, oh, I've got lots of bits of links and codes to copy over. Once you've done it 2 or 3 times, it's really, and you go, right, I've got first thing you do, open the Facebook page, get the link to the Facebook page. That's the first one you put in, even though it's not the first in the list, right? Then you go back to Facebook, go in, start to type an update, click live event, go live custom stream, and then it gives you that stuff there in front of you, and it's literally a copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Then all you've got to do, go back to Facebook, so you can then go live from Zoom to Facebook, the editor in Facebook. You're not live at that particular time. And then what you have to do is you have to go into the live production studio on Facebook, where you already are, type in the name and a bit of info about what you're going to do on your live stream. So give it a title, give it a bit of context in there, and then click update. And then there'll be a big button on the bottom left-hand side that says go live to Facebook. Now, when you press that one, that's when you're actually live, as in live in the Facebook group that you want to stream into. So, Manmeet's back. Hang on 1 second, Manmeet. Let me just add you back in. Where are you? Hang on, I'm just trying to find Manmeet. Manmeet. Right, I've just made you co-host so you can come back in. So when you click that red button, that's when you go live in the Facebook group. So it's really actually, it sounds more difficult than what it is. I think what I'll do for this particular day is the instructions can feel a bit daunting on the live support docs if you're not a learner that way and you like to copy via video. So what I think I'll do is under the replay for this, I'll do a recording because you can't do it when you're live because you're live already, right? So I'll do a recording for you just how quick it is. It will literally take you 90 seconds to set it up and go live. It's that easy, 90 seconds. If it takes you 2 minutes, it's a long time. So now Manmeet's back. I'm going to hand back over to you again and let you carry on.
Absolutely. I think, Kevin, we've covered almost all the live areas. The last one was the live stream that Kevin explained. And yes, literally, it takes about 90 seconds. And if it's taking more, then probably you're doing it for the first time. As you start doing it more and more, it becomes easier and easier. Those are the 5 live areas in Zenler. That is a one-to-one booking, a live class, live webinar, live interactive webinar, and the live stream. You can use all the features of Zenler at any given point for your students, for your leads, for your workshops, for your sessions, for your summits. We have done a full-blown summit using the Zenler system itself. It was an 8 hours summit, and what we did was we used one session 4 hours each, and we used 2 different sessions to be able to run the entire summit in one go. So if you think out loud, anything is possible for all the live sessions that are available here at Zenler. I'm happy to take any questions that you have for your own sessions or your own workshops.
Right, I'm going to unmute you all and I'm going to unleash you all into our Zoom room. Right, so let me just say you can now, oh, where are you all? Share? No, I don't want to do that one. It's right, so you can unmute yourselves and you can start your videos. So there's lots of conversation going on. Sarah, I just want to address your question in here where you feel that there's a lot going on here. You're struggling to keep up with this and that you're hoping it gets easier. Well, I don't know where you are, Sarah. There you are. Right.
Yeah, hi.
I really enjoy working with people that are starting with any form of tech. And those of you that have been on my workshops, boot camps, whatever you want to call them, understand I always start right at the very beginning because I completely get where you're coming from. You could look at all this stuff and go, my head is swirling full of, I just don't know where to start, right? And the fact of the matter is, as Zenler becomes a more capable program, and it adds in extra bits. There's always lots of things that are going on. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to use all of those things. And I always say to people, we've got the complete guide to Zenler. You need to really write a list down of your own priorities. What are the things in the order you need to learn it? Not how do we want to teach it to you, right? Because we'll teach you one way, but you'll want to learn a different way because you might come into this workshop and go, you know what, I have no intention of ever doing anything live. So today would not be for the people that are in that position. They don't want to do this, right? So it's a lot of information that they probably won't need. We get other people that come into a workshop like this that have never contemplated doing lives before, see the capability of the platform to do them, and then go, you know what, actually, I might want to have a little dabble in this. And where am I going to start with it? And the way that Manmeet outlined it is, well, do you start firstly engaging with your own students first with lives, which is the one-to-ones and the classes, or do you use it to engage with new people that you want to come into your system, which is the live webinars, the live streams, and the interactive webinars? Yeah. So that's your first choice. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to talk with people that you know? Do you want to talk with people that you don't know? Right. And then you start to learn the bit of this that fits that profile. And then you just focus on that one bit. Yeah. The great thing about Zenler is for me, it's very methodical in the way that it operates. As in, you have to go through different steps to do what you want. And on the first workshop, the first session that I did, and I went through the menus, I said to all of you, start at the beginning and work along. Because if you start jumping about, it confuses everybody. You sit there and if you don't know where you are, you lose your place. So just start at the beginning, even if you know, well, I've done the next bit, well, just go to it anyway, and then go to the next bit and go to the next bit. And then when you get to a bit that you don't understand, you can then go to the tutorial site, go to the complete guide to Zenler, search for it in there, and then you're only reading that bit about the part that you're stuck on. Does that make sense? And then that will save you a whole heap of time of sitting there thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. It's all overwhelming. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on because you'll keep focused on your plan rather than trying to master everything that's in this platform, which is going to be tough, right? It takes time. I think on average, I would say, from what I've experienced being an educator here for now 5 years, I would say it takes people roughly 2 years to learn every aspect of this platform really, really well. Right. And that's going in every week, learning a bit, every week, learning a bit. And a lot of people don't have time to even go in every week. A lot of people come in every couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So it takes them a little bit longer. So don't be hard on yourself, feeling it's a tough gig. Zenler was created for people that are non-tech, which is why we work so hard as an education team to help people, to help them find that starting point and just do that bit first, right? And then move on.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine. I'm finding it a little bit hard to keep up with the presentation, but I know I can watch the replay and I've made notes of the minutes we're in. But I got lost once we're talking about Facebook Live, and it's time to put the kettle on. I just you lost me there. But yeah, like you say, it's step by step. Thank you.
It is. No, that's no problem at all. Right, who has questions? Because there were questions that come in, and I said we'll come back to your questions, but I've lost them now. So if you've got a question, then just shout out. You can unmute yourselves, I think, hopefully. Come in and ask. My mate's here.
Hello, my name is Joyce.
Hello, Joyce.
I registered, but I couldn't attend the first 3 sessions. And this one literally just come on it. Is there any recordings that I can follow up? Because my IT system is very bad, and I should say social media.
Okay.
And I get scared as well.
Well, all of the replays for the workshop are, firstly, you can go back in the Facebook group and find them there because they were all run as lives and they're still in the Facebook group. So you can always watch them now. Or if you've signed up using the funnel, which is what I tell people to sign up to, there's a replay page, and it's just one page with all of the lives underneath each other. So it's just one, you only go to one place. It's really easy.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I will share, I think David said that we had added that link in the emails as well, I'm pretty sure. If it's not there, I will add it to the emails that go out in future. So you can make sure that you go directly to that page.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question.
I work like that as well. And when I watch replays, I like to pause them. I like to watch a bit, then pause it, understand it, and maybe go and do it, and then carry on. I listen to Sarah, my partner, and she does replays on ×3 speed, and I can't work like that. That does my head in. She's far cleverer than me, for sure. I can't keep up with it, so I'd like to do -5 speed if I could. But yeah, I like to pause recordings as well, and I do it with all of the training videos that we do, even ones that I've done myself. I like to pause them and then catch up, and that's what I like about video, and making sure that what you're doing on the screen is exactly what you're talking about at that time, and it's ordered. That's how I learn. Some people like to read instructions, and they learn better that way, which is why we've got the support docs.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would love to see the workflow for inviting someone to a discovery call, which would then go through the calendar. So I assume I'm sure that I already saw that it's integrated with Google Calendar so that I'm not overbooking things. So that part I think is set up already, but just whatever would be the best process for inviting someone to a discovery call.
So these are one-to-one, just you and one other person. You want to put this out, come and get my free discovery call. Here's my calendar.
Yeah, or on LinkedIn. I'm connecting with someone on LinkedIn and I want to book them for a discovery call for, professional coaching purposes. So normally I would put them through my calendar and it would go directly to my Zoom that's hooked up to my calendar. So what would be the way to do that here?
All right. I would choose, if I have to choose from all the lives, then I would be choosing the live interactive webinar to be able to set up discovery calls, is because I assume these are discovery calls. People want it to be frictionless. If you go through a one-to-one booking and a live class, that requires people to create an account on your site. That means having an email, having a password, which is a little bit of a trouble if you're inviting discovery calls alone. And live webinars is where they don't have control, where they can't switch on their video, they can't switch on their audio. So if you have to use a Zenler system to invite discovery calls to be able to take calls for yourself, then I would suggest live interactive webinars. You choose the live interactive webinar, you say single sessions, and then you set up slots for yourself. 10, 12, 13, 13, I mean 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. You'll have to set them up manually. You set them up manually, and then you go through the setup like we had it in the call, and then you choose a design page and you finish it up and you set up automatic reminders in the system. As you share this page with people, they will be able to select one slot. You can also restrict that one person can only book one slot. So they will be able to choose one slot. Once that is blocked, the other slots are open for the other people. That's how you can do it.
Great,
But
thank
it
you.
requires a little bit of your manual work setting up in the slots every week. You've done it for 1 week.
Oh,
Next
yeah,
week,
okay.
you'll go and set up the slots again.
Yeah,
It's not, yeah.
that's not so useful. So probably I'll continue to do it the way I've been doing it, which means that I would keep my own Zoom for that purpose because it's integrated with my calendar.
Okay. All right. That works.
Okay, thank you. That's a big help.
Yeah. All right.
Do we have any more questions? Sarah, you're back.
Yeah. Yeah. So how does it integrate with your calendar? How do you set that up, please?
All right. What I'll do is I will just show you quickly where it is, and then I'll help you with the support document from Zenler. If you go to site and then you go to integrations tab here. By the way, integration tab is only visible to the admins of the site. That is people who have the main account at Zenler. Your sub-admins and other people in the account do not have access to integrations. So if you go to the integrations area, you will see Google Calendar here. You click on connect with Google Calendar, and there's a small process that you follow to be able to sign in into the Google Calendar. I will send you a support document that will help you do this very quickly. I hope that answers the question, Sarah.
I have a question about that as well.
Mhm.
I noticed that there's a
Sorry.
Zapier
Yeah.
account. Would it allow you to be able to also connect to your Outlook calendar? Sorry, Sarah. Kind of the same question, but what if I use Outlook instead of Google?
Okay, so Google Calendar is something that is given by default in Zenler. If you want to use Outlook or any other calendar, like you mentioned, Zapier, that is a third-party tool that you'll have to use to be able to set up the automations to see the systems the way you want to run it. So you'll have to test it out and see how it works. Yes, back to you, Kevin.
Oh, you're back to me. Sorry, I was just looking on Zapier to see whether it did that or not because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't use Zapier, but
What
I
I
know a
think
lot of
is
people do.
it is possible on Zapier for sure, but how it would be, how would it reflect for you? Where does it show? How would the automation play out is something that you'll have to test. One thing I know is 99% it's possible.
Yeah. We've got people asking where they can find the docs. Have we got a link to that Google Doc, the support doc that you had, Manmeet, please?
Right. I'm just searching that. Give me a minute and I'll drop
Yeah,
it in
no
the chat.
worries. Any other questions? Any more? For any more? Are we all good? Are we all happy about how this works? How anything if we just use Okay, all good. Sarah's all good. Right. Well, if we have no more questions, there is a lot to take in. What I would say to you is, and I think the way that the workshop's progressing is we are covering big areas, and this isn't meant to be a full-on, you know, detailed tutorial on every single area because some of them are just too big. And the live area is one of those, but you will see common themes that run through every single live that's set up. There's commonalities through it, as in, you know, how you have the pages come through, you select your theme, you know, you can edit your pages. Somebody asked that earlier. You know, you edit it just like you would edit a course page as you'd edit a normal page on a website. You know, and it uses the page builder to edit it so you can make it look however you wish. So, and you probably should do that. And, you know, often, especially with the live sessions, and if you're getting involved in live webinars or even one-to-one sessions, you know, using the thank you page for signing up is a really good place, an opportunity for you to personalize something in there. So whilst you're waiting for the webinar, why don't you have a look at this and send them somewhere else to go and look at something, you know, or do something like that. It's a typical webinar trick for people to get them to do something. Often you'll see on the waiting page for webinars, people will put a video on there and saying, whilst you're waiting, why don't you watch this? You know, and stuff like that. So it's your opportunity to go in and be creative with what you do with those pages rather than just, well, here's Zenler's template, just leave it at that and off we go. You can do, your limitation is really your own mind as to where you want it to stop with what you want to do with it. But I always think that, especially on a webinar registration, because often they have to wait maybe a few days for that, to send them somewhere else. So you could almost set up a pre-webinar micro training or blog post or something to get them warmed up to the idea of what the webinar is about. You know, so look, before you jump in on the webinar, which is going to be whenever it is, why don't you go and have a quick read of this or watch this YouTube video that I've done or whatever you want to do. Yeah. And then that could warm them up even more to what the topic of the webinar is going to be about. So there's lots of things that you can do there, but we go through these things quite quickly because a lot of it is similar. There's not a huge amount of difference. Obviously, with the interactive webinars, the pricing bit's different, right? You don't get on that on the standard webinar. You know, so there are some differences, but ultimately, once you set up one live, you'll be able to set them all up. It'll all feel really comfortable. And the key to it is, if you've never set one of these up before, then go and set one up and then go and share the link to yourself and sign up for yourself. Like we say, test all the time. So you know what the experience will be for people that are trying to book onto this. And if you think you've set it up properly where people don't have to register, right, then go into a cloaked window, send yourself the link, go and test it, go and click it. Does it work? If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then you've got to go back and rethink it. But most people won't do it. And then they'll come to doing a live session and then they'll suddenly get a message going, oh, I've got to register for this now. You said there was no registration. And you go, oh, it's too late. That time's gone. You don't have the time to do it. So you've got to test these things. And, you know, you can just go in, set as many test lives up as you want, and then just go and delete them all afterwards. Right? It hasn't got to clutter your account up. Just go and set them all up, go and play with it, go and mess about. Try coming in on your phone as well, right? So set it up on your PC or your laptop and then send it to your phone and go, what's it look like on a phone? Because a lot of people use phones to go onto these live sessions now, right? If you don't know what that looks like, how can you guide people through that are trying to get on your live, right? So go and test it. It doesn't cost you anything to test it, just a bit of time. And then once you've done it, you can just delete them out. And then when you find one that you really, really like, and Scott was saying this earlier, if you go in and you take a lot of time and trouble to set up a live webinar, and you go, right, okay, well, I want to do another one, but slightly different. Just go and clone it, then go and edit all the details on it and reset it up. But you've got all your stuff already in there. Save you hours. Yes, got test always. Okay, right. Do we have any more questions for Manmeet as she's here? If nobody has any more questions, we'll wrap up. No, we're all good. We're all good. The replay will be up at some point before tomorrow, our time. So we're mid-afternoon now, so it'll be up probably by the morning, UK time. So look out for that. Any homework, Manmeet?
Yes, absolutely. I would ask everyone and recommend everyone to create at least one live area for your students and one live for your prospects. So like we said, one-to-one booking and the live classes for your students. Live webinar and live interactive webinar is more for your prospects and people that you're trying to bring into your system. So set up one live session for your students, invite them, and share a screenshot with us on the group when you create a live session for your students, and create one live area for your prospects and share the registration link with them and share a screenshot on the group when you create the session for your prospects. That's the homework that I'd like to share.
And when's that got to be done by?
Tomorrow. It's so easy. You
Wow.
just have to watch the recording and do it by tomorrow.
Cool. Even I'm not going to do that by tomorrow, Manmeet. That sounds pretty hardcore.
Okay. Do you want to give more time, Kevin?
Yeah, get it. If you can get it done by the end of the week, then that'll be great. I mean, it's Tuesday today, so let's get it done by the end of the week, because that'll give you a time to go in and play with it and, you know, test a few things out before you set it all public.
All right. Then Kevin says by the end of the week.
Yeah, I would definitely do one of the webinars and set one of those up, because you may not have any active students right now. I know some people might not have that, and therefore doing the one-to-one or the other one might not be beneficial for you. But if you set up a webinar, then that's something that you can do, and you may potentially just go and bite the bullet and go, you know what, actually, I'm going to run with this. And you might actually just run it, because what's the harm in doing that if you get new people come in and jump on there with you? Yeah. So definitely set the webinar one up. And if you've got students, then set either the one-to-one up or the live class and see how you get on with that. Yeah, I think you'll be surprised how easy it is. Right, that's your homework then. That's nice and easy, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Kim's happy, so that's great. Okay, I'll let you all go. Thanks, Manmeet, for today's session. Remember, I am back on Thursday, so you're back with me Thursday and Saturday for your sins. We'll be covering courses on Thursday and Saturday, so I've split it down into two. The first Thursday, we're going to be covering creating courses, different types of courses, all that type of stuff. And then on Saturday, we're going to get really deep into the content within a course and what that looks like and what we can do and how we can make it look really, really good as an experience for our users, our students. So that's going to be rounding off this week. So I'm quite excited to deliver that one. That's going to be pretty awesome. So, but for now, thanks everyone for being here. It's been an absolute blast as always. I'll see you on Thursday. Office hours is probably going to be on Friday this week, so it'll be in between, sandwiched in between them two. So if you want to jump on that, you can. But yeah, I'll catch you all probably on Thursday. So have a great couple of days, and I'll see you then. See you
Thank
later.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.